You're looking for other people to invite.
We're just inviting more people to join.
And then we're going to get started. It's 1:59 and we're going to start at 2. And it's 2 o'clock.
Yay.
So let me know when you're ready.
All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
So good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon.
This is Gerrol.
And Millicent.
And we are here to talk with you about marriage matters because your marriage matters. Please forgive me. I had to go to work this morning. So we didn't start at 8 o'clock like we normally do. But we don't want to miss an opportunity to be able to work with our outstanding audience because we're all in this work together. Those that are married and those that are thinking about embarking on a lifelong journey. That is why we're here, to be able to give you some insight just in what we do, and also give you the scriptures, the word of God that we base our marriage on. So with that being said, the name of today's message is Friendship Within the Marriage. Again, it's friendship within the marriage. And so we're going to kind of take you through a little tour. We have several scriptures and we'll make sure that we repeat them. And at some point in time, we will take those scriptures and type them directly into the Facebook page. Also, I would like to invite you to view our YouTube channel. All you have to do is type in Gerrol and Millicent, and you will see all of the videos that we have on the YouTube channel. I think it's like maybe 15 or 16 videos that we have. Please remember that this is unscripted, unrehearsed. This is live and living color, raw, unfiltered. Language monitor is on. Nobody should be saying anything inappropriate. We don't do that anyway. But it's just that this is what we do. And so we're just wanted to be able to share with you. So I would like to say good afternoon, Tremaine Adams Davis, Apostle Eric Wiggins, the man.
Thank you.
And Hannah Walker. Hey, Hannah.
And as you can see, even though it's 2 o'clock, we still have our coffee.
Oh yeah, we gotta have that. I ain't getting none today, so I'm behind. I actually did not have any coffee while I was at work. I was too busy trying to monitor things. So what we want to do first is just get back to something that we didn't do the last time is, I think maybe the last, excuse me, maybe the last 2 or 3 videos, we didn't make any declarations. So my declaration to you is to always be engaged in this work. And not to say that it's a work like this is something that, just something you clock in and clock out to do. But I want to always be looking at how we can help support each other. And because of that, I know that that's going to be instrumental in teaching our children how to choose mates so they don't have to make that mistake and be with somebody that they don't love. So that's my declaration to you. That's like an ongoing declaration because our children deserve that. And we want them to be happy and not be happy and then have to start over being happy.
Right.
All right. So.
Right. So my declaration to you is to be even more committed to the work, the partnership, the marriage, the friendship, even more than before. I've always been committed to it, but now it seems like the older we get, we're still learning. And so the more we learn and the more we take what we learn and engage it, infuse it. I like that. Infuse it into our marriage, we enjoy the sweet aroma of our marriage.
Yeah. We want to do that. And as you notice that we was not looking at the camera when we were talking to each other because you're supposed to be looking at the person, making sure that as a effective communicator that you are paying attention to what they're saying. Not looking away, not doing something with your own mind, but to be focused, not engaged with the cell phone, but to be really focused in on your mate. And for that nature, anybody that you're communicating with, if you give them your attention, they would appreciate that.
Right. So that's part of what we'll be talking about today. That's some of the little pieces of a friendship.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Miss Landry. How you doing, Miss Landry? Good to see you. So we're going to start with Shakespeare's definition or quote about friendship. And this is what William Shakespeare said. A friend is one that knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have become, and still gently allows you to grow. That's what William Shakespeare said. I didn't say that. But it opens up some conversation around what is friendship to you? What is being a friend to your spouse encompass? Right. It may not be the same thing as what we say it is for us. And it's surely not what William Shakespeare said, but there are some pieces in there that we can identify with. So as we journey into this good lesson, great lesson, outstanding lesson of teaching and learning, we're going to start with Philippians 1:3-6.
Okay, and I'll read that. It's actually Thanksgiving and a prayer. So it says, I thank my God every time I remember you. In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ.
He that started a good work in you will continue it until the day of Jesus Christ. So that tells me that God don't create junk. He create good works.
Right.
He that started a good work in you, he will continue that work until the return of the Lord thy God. And so I want you to understand that you have a spouse, you have a mate, and sometimes you may not agree, but the work that he wants to complete in your spouse, the work that he wants to complete in you, he's going to continue to do that until the day comes when he returns and we meet face to face. So it's important that you understand. He started a good work in Millicent, in myself, in you, in your wife, in you, your potential boyfriend, fiance. He started a good work. So he didn't create junk. He created somebody that's outstanding.
Right.
Now, all we want to do is try to enhance those areas that need to be lifted up. And then, to remove those barriers and walls that stop or prevent movement or growth. I'll say that growth.
But I think one thing, just going back and reading the beginning of this, that will help keep us focused is when he said, I thank my God every time I remember you. How often are you thanking God for your spouse?
I mean, you should be doing it every day. I'm having some camera issues. There we go. So you should be doing it every day. You should thank God for your spouse every day. But I can't think of anything good to say about them. They don't do this and they don't do that. They don't do this. Think about something that they do, and whatever it is that they do well, make sure that you affix your lips to compliment them in that area. Right. So if it's picking up the kids because you cannot, thank them for that. If it's cooking and you don't, thank them for that. If it's doing stuff at the last minute when they already got something to do, thank them for that. If it's the way they looking beautiful, thank them for that. Try not to, harp on the things that they may not do well, but continue to push on the things that they do well, because that's what you want to do. The more confidence you build, the more compliments that you give, bam, and there you go. You got somebody that you building up and not tearing down. Are they perfect? No. Do they do things that are sometimes not right? Yes. But I think that, and we are learning that we have to invest in speaking good of one another. Right. And speaking life into each other, as far as even if we don't see it, that is the desire of the person's heart. Well, I didn't say change somebody. Please don't think that we're talking about that. I'm not trying to change anybody. But what we want to do, thank you, Tabitha, we love you. We got to get down there, Tabitha. We're going to do it. And so, we want to make sure that people understand that we want to continue to build on a foundation of love, a foundation of mutual respect, a foundation of trust. Our screen is getting very bright because the sun came out. Oh, my goodness. And so it's getting bright in here. But just think about those things when we talk about how we interact with each other and what we say to each other. Yes, you may say something you shouldn't. Please ask them to forgive you. And if you really love them, don't keep saying the same thing all the time about this one and that one. Dial that stuff down so that you can start pushing more on the positivity. So we're going to go into our second scripture. Let's make sure that we covered everything in here now, because it's talking about partnership in the gospel. It's talking about thanking people for the gospel from the first day until now, and until now means right now. And then also it's talking about being confident that he who began that good work. So you have to be confident when you pray for your spouse, when you pray for your family members. Well, I don't see the change. Don't say that. You don't say what you don't see. You say what you want to see, and let God do the rest. Don't let your tongue start speaking out that stuff, and then there it is. The wall in their life goes up when the very wall that you want to come down, you building up because you tearing them down. The more you tear them down, the more they put the wall up. The more you build them up, the more the wall come down. That makes sense. It really don't make sense, but it makes sense. So you want the wall, the barrier for communication between you, your husband or wife, to go down that barrier. Right. But you want to build them up with love, with good communication, with compliments, with
and Pastor
support.
Mike used to always tell us, speak those things that be not as though they are.
That's right. But don't go back and say the negative behind it.
Right, because you just reverse what you just, spoke.
So we're going to go to, we're going to look at Philippians 2, and it's going to be 3 through 5.
All right.
Philippians 2, 3 through 5. Remember, this is the word. This is nothing that we making up.
Okay. So Philippians 2, verse 3 says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. In humility, value others above yourselves.
Okay.
Not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus.
All right.
I think if nothing else, this one really is the whole thing. This one scripture is the whole thing. Not being selfish.
Don't be selfish.
Vain conceit.
Yeah, and don't try to get somebody back. I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. And some people do little wicked stuff. If they mad with them, well, I'm not gonna give them no loving, or I'm not gonna give her no loving. You don't do those stuff out of vain conceit. Or if you're on your way home and it's something that you can do to help your spouse because you pass them by that place and you just don't do it because you want to be ugly. It doesn't work. It doesn't build anything. All it's going to do is go tit for tat. And now you have a hot mess. And then you don't have the aroma. You don't have the aroma of this coffee. You don't have the aroma of a fresh apple pie. You don't have the aroma of some good barbecue Texas style. Okay, not that other stuff that we talk about in these other states, but you don't have that aroma, then people look at you different. You want that aroma to be the same. That's one of the things that we learned from our kids when they went to Winterfest. They talked about identity and who are you all the time, So I really appreciate my wife going through these scriptures, because humility, meaning that you lower yourself and you don't put yourself on some pedestal like you're looking down on others, and then putting other people's interests before your own. That's a way of showing compassion. That's a way of showing gratitude. That's a way of just being a good team player, a partner,
right.
And then it says in your relationships with one another, have the same mindset. That's hard. That's difficult. Because to be honest with you, you're supposed to have the same mindset as you enter into the union. Excuse me. But that people, they come from different backgrounds.
Right.
And they live, they learn, and they love differently. So how can I be in the same mindset as Christ with my wife when we come from different backgrounds? We have to make that conscious effort that when we became one, then it is Gerrol and Millicent Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
It is not any other way. It is not Gerrol Johnson, his wife, and the kids. It is the Johnson family.
Yes.
What you say.
Hallelujah.
What?
Yes.
And so those things you gotta keep doing. And if that is not the mindset, all you have to do is pray and ask God to give you that mindset of Christ. Right. Because we all got our little hang-ups and stuff about our personalities. But this is a great way to build a wonderful friendship with your wife, with your husband, with your fiance, I can say that, and then also to build outstanding relationships with your children. So, humility.
Thank you, Apostle Wiggins. We appreciate you. We love you. Peace to you too.
All right.
Your family.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. And we caught you last week. I know you saw us looking at you. We saw you last week. And so that's what we want to do. Is we want to make sure that we share the word with you. That way you can be able to combine that with some of the things that you're already doing. We're not telling you some of these things you're already doing. We just want to make sure that you keep doing it. See, the thing is not to do it and then, oh, my marriage is happy, we're doing well. You stop doing it. You keep doing it all the time. You practice and you keep practicing and you keep practicing. Well, why I need to practice if I already know how to do it? If you stop practicing, you're not going to do it.
Right.
That's just the way it is. So,
and then, another thing I learned too for myself is we have to not, and I'm speaking for myself, personally, I can't speak for anybody else. But if we were doing something and our spouse enjoyed that or appreciated it or whatever, and then we just stopped doing it, sometimes we have to go back. We have to remember, what were we doing before that I know this person liked or loved, or this, what was I doing that made them happy? And I'm not doing it anymore. Sometimes we have to go back. We get, I think, complacent sometimes. We forget or we just get lazy sometimes.
Yes, that can be. So if you know what those things are, it's flowers, or if it's compliments, or if it's texts, or if it's little notes, or whatever it is, you don't stop doing that. You continue to do that. You continue to do what makes your spouse happy. And I know we get older, we get tired and those type of things, but you want to keep all of those things continually going. I didn't get it. It's not highlighted. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's
and
19
through 23.
Yeah. I don't know why that one highlighted. Okay. So our next scripture we're going to go to is Ephesians 2:19 through 23.
I'm sorry, 19 through 22.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So Ephesians chapter 2, verse 19 through 22.
Sorry about that.
It says, consequently, you are no longer foreigners and strangers, but fellow citizens with God's people, and also members of his household, built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as the chief cornerstone. In him, the whole building is joined together and rises to become a holy temple in the Lord. And in him, you too are being built together to become a dwelling in which God lives by his Spirit.
You're being built together, not separately. And your relationship will be that holy temple as he continues to be the chief cornerstone. Meaning that if there's a stone that holds up a wall and you pull that stone out and it's an anchor, the wall loses strength and will eventually crumble. So for us, you are to make sure that Jesus is the chief cornerstone in your relationship with your spouse, in your own personal relationship with him, and then with your children, so that will be the anchor. And everybody knows where to go to that anchor, that chief cornerstone. That's the one that holds up the wall. That's the one that holds up the building. And without it, the value is not good, and the wall doesn't have the strength and the durability that it needs to stand every day. Getting beat by wind, getting beat by weather, whether it's cold or hot, rainy, it's able to stand. And so that's what we want for your marriage, but also that's what we want for your friendship between you and your spouse. A friendship, a camaraderie, not just some system of steps like you just program like a computer, friendship, support.
Verse 21 just really sticks out to me.
Read it.
So I'll read it again. In him, the whole building is joined together and rises to become a holy temple in the Lord.
In him.
The whole building is joined together.
Now for us, it's just this one building. So it's this building. So it's one building.
Our building extends. Your home, your children,
your workplace,
the building.
The way you carry yourself, you are that building. You are that temple. And that's what people, what's the word? They're drawn to that. I'll say they're drawn to that. So we got two more scriptures, and then we'll be able to get into some other things, and we're going to wrap it up so that we can bring it all in.
Okay.
We're going to go to Genesis 2:24.
Okay. So Genesis 2:24. It says, that is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh.
That's the institution and the precursor for marriage. Once you become husband and wife, that you are one flesh, that you've left your home, whoever was raising you, and now you have embarked on this journey with your spouse. Not that you forget your family, because that's not what I'm saying. You keep all of those things. It's just that now you are building a new family. And then the nucleus of that is Jesus Christ. The nucleus of that is the friendship. The nucleus of that is being able to love, being able to support, being able to have a place of open communication, being able to forgive, not harbor unforgiveness, and be, still thinking about something from, whenever, give that person the love and the respect that they deserve, but you're doing it together. So we're going to look at our last scripture is James 1:2-5. James 1:2-5.
Okay. And it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you.
Amen.
We don't know everything.
Nope.
When you're lacking, ask for wisdom. That's what we're supposed to do in our marriage and with other relationships, so that it can possibly be the best experience that we can encounter.
Mm-hmm. And when you face challenges, the Bible is saying, take it as a joy, meaning that you know that if he's the chief cornerstone, even though it seems
Right.
insurmountable or it feels uncomfortable, because God put us in uncomfortable places so that we can learn and grow. Because if you're uncomfortable, that means that you still have areas that you can grow. When you're comfortable, you're not going to push yourself. So whenever we face trials of many kind, it says, because you know that the trying of your faith worketh patience. And so you're going to be tested. Your marriage is not going to be 100% good all the time with no tests, because if it is, then it never been tested. Now, I'm going to say that again. If you've never been through anything through your marriage, then it hasn't been tested, because those days are coming. And you need to be able to, one, have that relationship with God, have that relationship with your wife,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to combat your own, you got to deal with your own personality and your own inner fights, and then still fight against the enemy that's trying to keep you separated. The Bible says one can chase 1,000, but two can chase 10,000. We got more power together than we do apart. And we made that commitment that we're going to be together. So we should be dealing with thousands, but also thousands are going to be coming against us. Mm-hmm. So we have to be willing to deal with that, to face that, but actually keep pushing forward. So you're going to go through something in your marriage that's going to test and build you so that you can grow up. You need to be humble, walk in humility. Don't walk like you know everything, and don't walk like you don't never do anything wrong. Everybody in the world has done something wrong. Some people do something more wrong than they do right. But the one that's humble, they're willing to lower themselves to a degree so that Jesus can elevate them up. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of words. This is another word with friendship. Now, this is like one of those Webster dictionary type definitions. It says, Friendship is a state of mutual trust and support between allied nations, individuals. And so these are some words, some very interesting words that we've come up with or we saw as synonyms for friendship. Bond, something where it's maybe glued together and it sticks together. And if the bond is strong, you can't pull it apart. Tie, to, I don't know what that one, maybe that's, I guess when you tie something together, if you tie a shoe and get a knot, you got a strong bow. I don't know. That one is a little weird, but the other one is a little bit more explanatory. Link,
Right.
Links, that chain and that link in the fence.
Strong together.
Union, unity, working together. I know my wife could care less about probably dealing with a yard or whatever, but she will come out there and she will work in the yard for a little while and she'll disappear. And I'm okay with that, because if she don't want to be out there doing all the stuff I'm doing, because I'll be out there forever, and I know she's not going to put that kind of time into it, but that's okay. She's willing to come out there and support me. And so if there's a show that I may not have the most highest of interest in, I will make a valiant attempt to look at some of those shows so I can show support for the team. And she does the same thing.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty cool. We're able to support each other. But this is all about building friendship, about having some compromise. Alliance. We're an alliance. We're not going to let nothing come against us, try to separate us, kind of bring us down,
That's right.
kind of put us in a corner or something like that. Alliance. Harmony. Being able to have that sound that it's clear that we're on the same page, or it's clear that even if we was not, we have enough sense to have conversations around. I don't know, did we actually do that, or do we need to go back and revisit that? Because if we know it's off, we're gonna let a wedge come in between us. We're gonna hurry up and address it. Intimacy. It's okay to hug. It's okay to kiss. It's okay to touch, but you have to know your spouse. And if your spouse grew up in a home where they weren't touched, then they may not touch you. And it's not because they don't want to. They only live what they've been taught. So you need to think about that. Camaraderie,
Yeah.
little intimate walk on the beach. When that date night comes in, yes ma'am, yes sir. Date night every third Friday of the month for us.
Date night is very important.
So if y'all don't have date night, you need to create one. But I don't have a male friend. Then have your own date night and go out, enjoy, do something for yourself.
Right.
Go to a spa, do something for yourself, so that way when you do get that person, they already know. Date night is a non-negotiable. We going to get something done together. Some massages, we're going to a restaurant, we're going to do something. Paint with a twist, something. We're going somewhere to do something. And so, what you got?
Going back to alliance, I'm really feeling that word. I'm liking that. So, what an alliance is?
Which one I need to read? This one or this one?
All of it.
It says a union or association formed for mutual benefit, especially between countries and organizations. Association, union, league, treaty, pact, compact, entity, concordat. And then it says the second definition, a relationship based on an affinity in interest, nature, or qualities. So I like the first one. It's strong. A union or association formed for mutual benefit, especially between countries or organizations. So that's something that it's the same thing. You make a vow to each other with your marriage vows, and that's an alliance. Now the two have become one, and together we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna put things out there, and we're gonna build. And where we see walls, we're gonna knock them down. Where we see things where it's trying to drive a wedge between us, we're gonna remove that. And so Hey, Bryce, good afternoon, Bryce.
Hello.
And so we want to continue to keep focusing on those things that build that friendship. One, you have to be a friend of God.
Right.
You know, I'm a friend of God. He calls me friend. You know, you need to be a friend of the very one that created you. You need to be willing and open and honest with yourself to be able to have a conversation. And you just can tell God, you ain't got the curse, but you can say, I'm a butthead. You know, just let him know. But then after that, talk to him about why you feel like you're a butthead and ask him to help you to not be in that way. We all got ways like that where we appeal. And everybody knows that appeal is something you don't want to swallow. So if you appeal and your appeal is your attitude, nobody want to swallow that. If you appeal and you just act like you don't want to be bothered with nobody, you are antisocial person, nobody want to swallow you. You appeal. And so, and I got my own pill of my own self. But the thing is, it's okay to have, you need to acknowledge that you're that way. And then you need to be able to say, Lord, look, I already know how I am. Come on, work with me. Help me to get past this. For some people, they can do it in a few days, a few weeks, a few months. Right. Some of them, it take years. And then for some, it ain't going to never happen. So you just going to have to feel like, hey, I'm going to take or I'm not or whatever. But, you know, you just need to look at that because that's how you build these relationships. Right. She know what kind of pills I am. And she don't want that pill. And I don't want that pill either. But
hey, I've been dealing with it for how long? For 26 years.
26, 24.
Yeah.
26, 24.
26, 24.
So here's some questions that we want to roll by you, and then we're going to let you enjoy your barbecue Texas style. Anything else doesn't matter. All right. So all that other barbecue is just like boiled meat or something. That is no slug thrown at anyone. All right. So the first question, it says, does your spouse know you as you are? Do you know your spouse as they are? You need to know who you're dealing with. And you need to understand their perception and depth of life in the way they are. You need to understand that. And hey, Christina, Chef Allen, how you doing?
You need to try to find out.
Yeah. You need to, if you don't know your spouse, something wrong. You need to know. When you talking about no dating game and you guessing colors and stuff like that, you need to know your spouse, their temperaments, when something is bothering them, when they're not feeling well, when they want you to do something without actually asking you to do it. Mm-hmm. You need to know that. You've been there long enough to know. And if you don't, pay attention.
It's never too late to start over.
It's never too late to start over. Question number 2. How do you get to know your spouse? Pay attention. Mm-hmm. You know, just look. Now, this is the big one. She said pay close attention, so she's throwing some kind of stone at me.
But they pay close attention to the person.
She's throwing some kind of stone at me. I'm going to keep moving. So the second one in there, it says spend time together. And if I don't pay attention, I spend time.
He got that one on lock.
So I got
spending time.
So, you know, spend time together.
Yeah.
Go skate. Go bowling. Go walking. Go sitting. I don't care what it is, but and you need to find something to do.
My favorite is during the summer months, and we're gonna sit outside. Mm-hmm. In the driveway. With our jazz music.
Yeah.
And just sitting there. Just us. Nobody bothers us. Mm-mm. The kids know we're going outside.
Light a fire. You don't even have to be cold. And we just sit. So spending time together, sharing feelings, aspirations, and expectations. Feelings, expectations, aspirations. I think I said it wrong. So you want to be able to let them know, hey, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. This is what she wants to do. Mm-hmm. How do we get it done? We both can't go to school together. One gonna go, we're not gonna go. Mm-hmm. So when she go to school, I'm not going. Excuse me, because I need to be able to make sure the kids are straight. She needs a safe and quiet space to be able to work without hearing them fuss and argue about whatever they're arguing about, and just keep on, moving.
Right.
And games and other things that the children are involved in, I need to be able to go and take care of that. And it's vice versa, same thing. Oh man, this is a serious one. You need to pay attention to this one. Oh, learn to be vulnerable with your spouse.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, so be able to let down all of the walls so that they can see that you have a heart that beats.
And that takes time. That's not just something that's going to happen overnight. That takes time. That takes work on your part. Because whatever has happened in your past that hasn't been dealt with, and being vulnerable with your spouse, all of that is a part of that.
Yeah.
So that's a work. So if you have to see a therapist or, to learn how to work through those things, it's okay to do that. But you want to try to get the best friendship, relationship that you can with your spouse. And I think we said this last week, being committed to the commitment is what it's about.
Yeah, you can't let your guard down, and you can't stop climbing. You can't stop going. If she get tired, then build her up, help her to get up there with you. If I get tired, it's the same way. Help me to get up there with her. And so this question is serious. Question number 3, we got 2 more after that, and we done. It says, does your spouse know where you have been? You need to know and this is, I'm going to say this to the ones that are not married. If you don't know how your fiance was raised, then you are making a big mistake. Because you need to know where they have been in order to know if you even want to go with them.
Right.
I don't know if I want to embark in all that. Oh, that's too much drama for me. And you ain't got to do it. You ain't married. Hey, I walk away. Nah, I can't do that. But what I'm saying is, if you understand if they came from a verbal abusive home, and if sometimes they say things that are not right or verbally abusive, that's where they came from. Are you willing to take on that challenge? Well, he loved me so much, I'm going to change him. No, you're not. You're not going to change nothing. And he's not going to change you. So get that out your mind. If you don't want to deal with that, don't even go into that.
Right.
Because that's not going to, you spend your time with that when you can be focused on you. But you need to know where your spouse has been.
That's right.
They've been through hardship. If they've been through abandonment,
abuse,
whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you don't know, and then after you get married and the person is withdrawn, they was this way, but now they're not. Right. And all of these things start popping up like steam from a boiling pot.
Or you say or do something that's a trigger for them and you didn't even know.
That's right. And you're not going to know everything before, but the stuff that you see, you need to ask questions about it, especially if it doesn't line up with the way you was raised. Ask questions in the early stages and don't wait. Right. Well, there's going to be hard things, so that's not going to affect us. It's not a wise decision. It's going to affect you because that's how that person was raised. That's how that person was raised is going to affect the relationship. So, how you doing, Miss Gonzalez, Miss Sue Gonzalez? How are you? So, you need to know where your spouse has come from, what kind of background, upbringing, rearing they've had. If they have absolutely no relationship with God, how do you think they're going to have one just because they met you? Okay, yeah, go on and believe that if you want to. Don't do that. You need to have your own relationship with God and the person that you have prayed for and that you've prayed about. If that's a quality that you spoke out of your mouth and said, Lord, needs to have these qualities. She needs to have these qualities. And you don't see these qualities, but you say yes. Wrong again and again. So don't do that. I hope I've made myself very clear. You don't want to make that kind of mistake. I'm trying to help those that are single. All right. Me, I am happily married. So this is question number 4. Does your spouse accept what and who you have become? Do they accept what and who you've become? Because some people, we put so many limitations on somebody, they don't have no area to grow. Because instead of building them up, we are tearing them down.
Right.
And so, does your spouse accept what and who you have become? This is where I was in the beginning of my marriage. This is where I was in the middle, and this is where I am now. Have I grown? And the answer should be yes. If the answer is no, did you or me know the background of the other? Did I understand this was this person's temperament, or this was a trigger, or through relationship at the time, go on, this is a relationship, these things pop up. So I want y'all to think about that.
And something else I had a question about too, concerning that one. You accept what and who they have become. You also need to evaluate yourself and what part you've played in either the positive or the negative. Were they trying to do something and aspire to be something? And did you do or say something that hindered that?
Okay.
We need to learn how to be nurturing to our spouses.
Yeah. Because everybody has dreams, goals, and aspirations. And so, you support them. Well, he got a different business concept every 5 minutes. Okay, well, then support it, and then when it fail, it fail.
But that's also when you go before God by yourself and get on your knees and pray for your spouse to receive direction from God, because that's the only one that's going to give it to him.
Say, Lord, I know he got a different idea every 5 seconds, but could you please draw his attention to the one that enhances his strengths and his abilities to make and sustain change. Ooh, get that. All right. Make and sustain change.
Right.
All right. And do you have personal and mutual goals? We had goals. I mean, here's one more goal I want. It's another goal I want to accomplish, but we having some agreements to disagree about how that may happen. And so I'm still
working on it.
I'm still in the thinking stage, because she's going to be going back to school anyway. So when I go back to school, there's some differences of opinions about the course of study that I may engage in. So, but we do have goals, and we do support each other. All right, Miss Norma Castillo. So we do support each other because we have goals. And because our children see us supporting each other, that's why they're going to make sure it ain't going to be up to us, because we can't choose their spouse for them. If you choose a spouse for your child, you're already lost. So they're going to look at Millicent and myself, and if we're supporting each other, then they're going to look for somebody that's going to be supportive, and not somebody that just has an idea about marriage but don't want to build a marriage together. All right, we knocking the devil out. So mutual goals are important. And this is the last and final question. It says, are you open to, excuse me, I want to make sure I don't mess this up. Are you open to change with your spouse to meet their needs, desires, or expectations? Are you open to change? Because both of you going to have to change. Because if you two, I don't know if you ever seen a ram. A ram, if you two rams And those two realms are fighting for supremacy. I don't care how hard their heads are. One of them horns gonna break at some point in time.
And you will have nothing but a headache.
And that's it. So you're gonna keep battering, battering, and battering against each other. And then your kids gonna see you battering and battering and battering against each other. And they're gonna find them a mate, and they're gonna battle and battle and battle against each other. And then they're gonna have kids, and they're gonna battle and battle against each other. And then you're gonna have some grandkids, and they're gonna battle and battle against each other. So that's why when I talked about making and sustaining change, it's important. Because once you are brought into the knowledge of the truth, once that light bulb clicks in your head and God has met you right where you are, either through your personal prayers for yourself or your spouse praying for an area of opportunity to grow,
yes,
then you continue to sustain the change. And therein lies the friendship, the partnership, the unity, the alliance, the bond, the camaraderie, the link, the tie. All of those things are now the picture of what your relationship is. And my wife is going to read this last statement so that we can kind of have a litmus test of where you are.
So this last one, and this came from something we read earlier, but it just kind of stuck out. What aroma does your marriage give?
Aroma, like this fresh
when
ground
people
coffee.
are around you, what are they sensing?
Yeah.
What aroma are they getting from you? Are they seeing the story without hearing the words?
Ooh.
Are they seeing the story without hearing the words?
I'm not saying anything on that. I'm gonna let you take that and run with that. Let you run with that. There's nothing else to say. I am done. I'm finished. I'm done. So that is so very powerful and an outstanding way to close this out. Wow, without words, man. And so I hope that we have journeyed together for this last 51 minutes. And if you clicked off, no problem. Just go look at it again. Thank you, Bryce.
Thank you.
We got to get down there, Bryce. Bryce and Tabitha, we got to get down there. My goal is to get on down there for homecoming next in October. I got to get on down there, man. Been there so long. So we're hoping, believing, and just trusting God that, hey, something that we said, something that we did, something that we discussed, a scripture that you made a connection to because of this lesson will be a building block for your future growth. Because we all should be striving to have the relationship with God that's open enough for Him to tell us when we're being a butt, and how not to be a butt,
right?
How not to be a pill that no one wants to swallow.
Asking God for wisdom to change.
Wisdom to.
But you won't understand that change needs to be made if you're not evaluating yourself. Not evaluating your spouse. I mean, yeah, you look at that too, but if you're evaluating yourself,
we love you too, Bryce.
Love you too. You need to ask God for wisdom to show you what to change, to show you how to change.
Yeah.
So that you can not only be pleasing to Him, but be pleasing to your spouse.
All right.
In all areas.
And then that aroma's good. All right, Ms. Sanders, we are so good you joined in. You can go to us on YouTube in about the next 30 minutes to an hour if you want to see the entire program. You can definitely see it on Facebook, but we're taking all of our videos every time we have one, and we're
transferring, uploading them to our YouTube channel. And you just type in Gerrol and Millicent Johnson Jr. and it'll come up. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel, like it, share it, whatever you have to do. We just want to get the word out there to grow healthy, God-based marriages.
Amen. So remember, we love you. We appreciate you. And remember, your marriage matters because your marriage matters. And then I want to go and extend that to those that are not married that may be watching, but they're wanting to embark on this journey. We're going to make sure you prepare, because you can look at us anytime you want to, and you can shut us down anytime you want to on the video. You don't want to hear what I got to say, you just cut it off. But the thing is, we want to make sure that there's something in there that's going to help you to be able to make some good decisions before you make the big decision.
Right.
All right. We're out. Have a good weekend.
Next Saturday.
And I know that the Rams and the Patriots, but Marquis Christian is number 41, and I'm pulling from my former student to be a Super Bowl champion on tomorrow. But no matter what, he's a champion because he's going to be in the big game. 24 years old, young man, thriving. So let's have a great evening. We love you. And remember, you can go to YouTube, and Millicent is going to download. And also, I'm not sure, but we'll make sure that this entire lesson is uploaded in some way, shape, fashion, or form. What is that? And then we have all the scriptures and everything on there.
Right. All right. You guys take care. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.